Hey guys, ladies and gents. I wanted to make a short video today because I'm excited to talk to you about my pocket-sized tarot card decks. So basically, let me show you the one that I'm using here. This is called the Tattva deck. The Tattva deck. Now, I don't know why they don't give the artist that actually did the tarot card deck credit. They always want to put Aleister Crowley, and while he was consulted about some of the symbology, he was not the creator of the deck. The creator of the deck is a woman named Lady Frida Harris. You see, it's always the women getting put in the back burner or even erased out of history. Nobody ever goes around saying, this is the Lady Frida Harris deck. Well, I'm going to do that today. This is the Lady Frida Harris deck. She's the one who created the artwork, the amazing artwork. So anyway, this is the main deck as far as my pocket tarot card deck is concerned that I carry around every day. And it's very small. Let me show you. Here we go. I have a lighter next to it to give you an idea of the size of it. It's small enough to fit in your back pocket, or if you're a lady and you have a purse, it's small enough to fit inside your purse. All right. So this tarot card deck is for easy access. I use a different one at home for my own personal stuff. This one here, I don't mind people seeing it because, like I said, I do carry it out on the go wherever I'm at. I can just have it in my pocket ready to use. And now, as you may know, I don't use it to do divination as far as like psychic readings for other people, nothing like that. I use this tarot card deck because it is a map into human consciousness. This particular Thoth tarot card deck is cross-cultural. So it combines symbology from both the East and the West. It also is an excellent tool for psychological analysis. Excellent tool. So if you're someone who's looking to be more self-aware, don't be afraid to broach this deck. This is a very, very accurate and symbolically rich deck, one of the more richer decks. I love all kinds of tarot card decks, but they're not all made the same. Quite frankly, a lot of the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful ones you see in the occult bookshops are really not decks that you want to start off with if you're a beginner, because they're not accurate. The Thoth deck, however, is one of the more advanced ones, considered more advanced, I guess, and a lot of people will discourage you from using a more advanced deck like this, but when I began tarot cards, I went straight for this deck. And I'm glad I did, because there are levels of meaning upon levels and levels. And I've been working with this deck, this particular deck that you see in the picture here, for over a decade, and I'm still learning new things about cards that I have literally studied for years. I would focus in on a particular card. So this little pocket-sized deck here, this pocket-sized deck here, along with The Hindu Tattva cards in the back, which I'll show you in a minute, includes all 78 tarot cards. Now you have the 22 major arcana, which are basically universal principles, universal laws that we all experience, no matter what culture or time period that we're from. It includes the 40 minor arcana, which consists of the 13 tests and challenges, the 13 basic tests and challenges that we all experience in life at certain periods of life, these patterns, right? And the 27 gifts and resources. And what does that remind you of? The Egyptian book of Thoth, right? With the 27 gifts and resources and those deities. So some people do call this the book of Thoth, or as they call this particular deck, the Thoth deck. Then, of course, you have the 16 types of self-mastery, which is represented by the court cards, the 16 court cards. You have the king, the queen, the page, and the princess. Or in this particular deck, the king is turned into the knight. So you have the knight, the queen, the prince, and the princess. Okay, now in the other decks, you have the king, the queen, the knight, and the page. Okay, so what you need to remember is you have older mastery and younger mastery. So the king and the queen, or which is the knight in this particular deck, is the older mastery. And then you have the younger mastery, which is the princess or the page. You can use these tarot cards as focusing tools. If nothing else, if you're very scientifically and skeptical minded, I would say use them as a focusing tool. Use the images and the symbology as a creative way for focusing. And see if they don't really add something extra to you. If they don't unlock certain abilities that may have been a little latent. And I'm not hinting at anything superhuman here. Okay, let's be rational and objective about this and more down to earth and practical. I think these are some excellent tools for problem solving. Problem solving, innovation, conflict resolution. Okay, here you have the Hindu Tattva card deck. And again, we are talking about universal laws here, universal principles, right? And you have the 5 major elements. You have the ether, then you have air, you have fire, you have the water tattva, and you have the earth tattva, right? And then, of course, you have the 5 different combinations with the 5 different elements, which equals to 25 possible cards, possible combinations, right? So you have a total of 25 cards with the Hindu, and then the 78 cards of the tarot card deck. And this is an easy way during day-to-day life, whether you're at work or doing something in your personal life, you want to pull out a card, you want to focus in on a particular card that you may have been already working on for a specific project or a problem. They're right there, and you can access your own insights, tap into your hidden and latent abilities and gifts and resources. Tap into resources that you may not have known were available before. Or you may have been able to tap into some resources before, but this gives you a deeper connection. It gives you something extra there that you can work with. So that's basically what I wanted to tell you about. And you can get these decks off of Amazon. You just type in pocket-sized Thoth tarot card deck. I think it's about $15. I think I paid about $15 for the Thoth, and then for the Hindu deck, I paid about $15 for that one too. I mean, I didn't pay for it, but somebody gifted it to me, And of course, I gave that person a wish list. And on the wish list, it had everything. I had different categories. It had the dollar category where there's a gift you can get me for $1. There was a $5 category, and then there was a 15, and then the $20. That was our limit. And of course, we exchanged those lists. So I had a list too of things that I could pick and choose. And what she picked and chose for me was from the $15 list. And it was all great because this was a gift that keeps on giving. Like I said, I was gifted this about 11 years ago, over a decade ago. So I've been using these cards almost every day for over a decade. Now, guys, if you don't have a man purse or I don't know what you call that new bag that people are supposed to be wearing these days, which I refuse to wear that. Okay. And I don't wear fanny packs. So my next best thing is cargo pants or cargo shorts with lots of pockets. You can easily fit that into your cargo pants. If you have jeans, don't wear skinny jeans with this because it's going to look like a big square bulk on your butt. You won't have any room for your cell phone anymore, But yeah, it fits in the back pocket. Ladies, you can put it in your purse. And just make sure you wrap it in a Ziploc bag or some protective container. If you have a lot of other things in your purse that could spill liquids and things like that, right? Because water and stuff like that will ruin these beautiful cards, and you'll have to buy a whole new set. But yep, basically wanted to tell you about this set. I really love it. I love these tarot cards, and it's an easy carry on the go. I'll tell you how it can help you on the day-to-day basis. These are archetypes, these are patterns of the mind, and they go very well with Jungian symbology, Carl Jung. If you're into that, psychoanalysis and analytical psychology, and mental health, being aware of mental health and learning about mental health, these go very, very well with that. And a lot of therapists and counselors are actually using these cards in their counseling sessions with their clients. For example, the Suit of Cups is a great, great tool for helping you with emotional regulation, to regulate your emotions. And what that means is it's not suppressing any emotions. Matter of fact, you're sitting with very uncomfortable emotions sometimes, very painful emotions. Instead of trying to get away from them or push them away, you're making yourself face them and sit with them. But it's not a unnecessarily needless pain here. It's processing what this is about, and then being able to have empowerment to regulate those emotions in your day-to-day life. Now, if you could have more empowerment in regulating your emotions wherever you are right now, you might be really great with doing that right now, but there's always room for improvement, right? No matter how great you are wherever you are with it. But if you could have more of that, if you could tap into more of that, that could translate into so many other areas of your life, especially in relationships, in your interpersonal relationships, be they professional, on the work, on the job, or personal, at home, or with family, or with friends. You can also tap into more conflict resolution. Now, conflict resolution is basically worth its weight in gold because every job, no matter where you work, even if you work in your own business, you're constantly having to deal with conflict resolution. And a conflict is as small and trivial as getting up in the morning and figuring out which do you do first. Do you go to the bathroom and brush your teeth first, or do you go have breakfast first and then go to the bathroom, brush your teeth, take a shower, and get dressed? Or it could be huge conflicts having to deal with finances or other things. If you're raising children, you're constantly going to have to deal with conflict between wanting to give your child everything versus putting some boundaries and limits, because knowing if you let your child go overboard, it can be detrimental in another extreme, right? So conflict resolution and having clear vision in that. Sometimes things can be complex or confusing. So you can get a type of clarity, especially from the Hindu tattvas, I have to say. Also, it can unlock and tap into hidden abilities of influence and persuasion. And more importantly, influence and persuasion of yourself. It's so much harder to control and change yourself in some areas, right? Be it being more healthy with food and exercise, or getting to those books and magazines that you've been wanting to read, or maybe if you're somebody who gambles, has a really bad vice. There's all kinds of things where we've tried to change, and we may have had a challenge in really following through and being able to do that, right? Well, being able to influence, tapping into that ability and developing that even more and more, influencing yourself, most importantly. That card right there with the moon symbol, the element of water, which is apas in the Hindu Tattva correspondence, or apas. That is a great tool to focus in on to further develop your abilities of influence. So there's all kinds of resources and gifts and talents that you can tap into. And these two little decks are really one of my favorite tools I love to use. You already know I love tarot cards, oracle cards. I'm a huge collector. By the way, I have to say, about 8 years ago, I purchased a particular type of tarot card / oracle deck. And this was a very unique deck, and it was about $12.99. It came with the book. It was a whole kit. And I have looked it up recently and could not find it anywhere for sale anymore. But I did see some people on Etsy and on eBay and on some other sites that were selling their used deck anywhere from $500 to $800. Yes. It's no longer in publication. The publisher is no longer publishing it. There was a limited amount, I guess. And it is an awesome, powerful, powerful deck. That deck I don't show to anybody. But it's amazing to see that it has increased in value. And I was really, really lucky to have purchased mine back when I did. Now I wish I would have purchased a couple of more. But it is what it is, you know what I mean? Maybe the publisher will come back one day and publish a second edition of that deck or something like that. Not that it needs anything improved, But, yep, so anyway, I'll talk to you soon. Let me know if you want to let me know something about any of your decks that you're using. If you're a beginner, check this out. You can take this small deck anywhere, all day, every day. The more you use tarot cards in any form or fashion, whether you're just looking at them and making up meanings as you go, to kind of just stir your imagination until you can finally really get into it, or you're studying them on a very serious basis, they're an excellent focusing tool. And I just love them. I just really love them. All right, talk to you soon and have fun. Oh, by the way, what I meant to say is the more you use them in any one way, the better you get in all ways with this. So you can't lose. All right, see you later.